was a question regarding recruiting. Let me get to it. Basically, Cal here is eyeing a number. Insert the number that you're targeting for the 23 class.
I mean, I'm on record thinking that this is probably going to be a top 5 class. A failure? I would say 13 or lower, I think. And I think, but more than the overall number, I think that it's the individual players, if they come or if they don't, or who is in the class and who, if you don't get a Brandon Ennis, 5-star wide receiver, American Heritage, right? But you get Jalen Brown as a 5-star wide receiver in that same scholarship slot. All right, that'll work. Even though the name might be a little bit different, I think that'll work. So, yeah, I think it's more that than anything. But I would say, yeah, I mean, if we're 13 or lower, I would say 13 is the floor, absolute floor. If we're below 13, then I would not necessarily be very pleased, especially with the coach that we have, the staff that we've built, and the way that things, even though not everybody is committed yet or everything, but the way that I reasonably think that this could go, another 15 or lower, that would be uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't really see that happening, but Mac asking, now Mac is going way into the future here. So between now and the time this decision is going to be made that he's referring to, between Jacurri and Jake Garcia, we're looking at the rest of spring practice, a whole other August camp, then another spring practice, then another August camp to arrive at this decision. But still, he's serving up. Are you okay with everybody pretty much giving Jake the starter job over Jacurri when Tyler Van Dyke leaves?
I mean, I'm fine with it right now because it's just like what we're doing. It's just people talking, so that can be the common thought. But at the end, there's going to be a battle, right? So, yeah, we as fans and, and bloggers and outsiders, even the other, credentialed media journalists, even if they say, okay, it's going to be Jake Garcia, what efficacy does that have? What impact would that actually have on Coach Cristobal's decision? Nothing, right? So if that's what people want to think and they have guys that they want to root for and, things like that, I'm fine with it. Absolutely fine with it. But when it comes to the end of the day, there's going to be a battle between those guys. And, the wheat is going to separate from the chaff, and we're going to figure out who's going to start and who's not, And both of them are, I mean, they're different players, but they're very talented, very athletically talented. Both of them have strong arms. Jacurri Brown has these shoulders that are, looks like a cartoon zoot suit or something. You know what I mean? He's this big dude. And, I mean, Adam Lichtenstein from the South Florida Sun Sentinel, journalist buddy of mine, he put up one video of a Jacurri Brown throw. On air, 14 yards in the air. But just watching the footwork and seeing how it's cleaner and seeing how that arm action was and everything, even on air, if he's able to make that the foundation of how he actually performs the job on the field and those mechanics get consistent, man, that could be a problem because he's athletic as hell, has a really strong arm, and he's a gamer too. Even though he completed 55% of his passes in high school, he wasn't incredibly accurate because sometimes the mechanics would come apart, and sometimes his accuracy and everything. But game on the line, go back and watch those. Go back and watch Lowndes from last year. He's running people over. He's running away from people. He's putting throws on the dot. I mean, last play of the game, down by 8, we got to have a touchdown, gets the touchdown, scores it to himself, goes into overtime. I don't remember if they won the state championship or not, but I mean, it was in the state championship game, right? So this kid is a gamer. So basically, if I got to figure it out, I can figure it out. Imagine if he had the ability, if he was more skilled with that, because talent is God-given and skill is developed, right? So he has all the talent in the world. Now imagine that his like developed skill matches that intangible skill of playmaking or evasive action when it's needed. That clutch gene of making a big play in a big moment, and being 6'4" with these shoulders and this running ability and this incredibly strong arm. Imagine then all of that. He has increased knowledge and improved skill. There's a lot to like with him, but you get the highest rated recruit at quarterback since Kyle Wright, and that's Jake Garcia. So nobody's going to hand it to one or the other, but I just gave you a 2-minute soliloquy as to why, in terms of Ja'Cory Brown, there's things to like. I've already told, everybody knows about Jake Garcia. Jake Garcia was ahead of Tyler Van Dyke until he broke his ankle in the Central Connecticut game last year. That's a verifiable fact. Coach said it. He was like, with the twos, it was Jake, then it was Tyler. Like, we all saw that, right? So this is a kid with a lot of talent as well. But yeah, we can all have our favorites. We have the one that we root for, the one we might prefer at the time, whether that's next year or the year after. But even if we have that preferred option, there's going to be a battle on the Green Tree practice fields, and somebody's going to come up on top.